What happens when the people who played the most brilliant crime hunters on television start living stories more dramatic than the ones they filmed? Criminal Minds ran for 2 decades, dropping viewers into the darkest corners of the human mind week after week. The BAU team chased serial killers, unraveled psychological nightmares, and somehow made profiling feel personal. But here is the thing nobody talks about. One person on this list was fired in a scandal that ended their career almost overnight, and one of them made a pivot so extreme you will genuinely not see it coming. Stay with us. Number 1, we have someone who led the team with quiet intensity for 12 years before one backstage moment destroyed everything he had built. That person is Thomas Gibson as Aaron Hotchner. Born in 1962, Thomas was 43 when the show launched and is now 64. Hotch was the spine of the BAU, stoic and unbreakable on screen. But in 2016, Thomas was fired after allegedly kicking a writer-producer during an on-set altercation. His marriage to Christine Gibson, which had lasted from 1993 to 2018, also ended. 3 kids, a legendary role, and a career that simply stopped. He has appeared in a few independent films since, but the mainstream door closed hard. Hotch survived every killer the show threw at him, but he could not survive himself. Number 2, we have someone who died on screen, came back from the dead, and then somehow made the whole thing feel earned. That is Paget Brewster as Emily Prentice. She was 37 when she joined in 2006 and turns 57 inches 2026. Emily left twice and came back twice, eventually leading the team. Away from Criminal Minds, Paget has built a serious voice acting career, including work on DuckTales and Final Space. She married musician Steve Damstra in 2014 and stays incredibly active on social media where her humor keeps fans hooked years after filming Wrapped. She is proof that sometimes leaving a show is the smartest thing you can do, because coming back means people actually miss you. Number 3, we have someone who walked away from one of television's most beloved characters to go build something just as big somewhere else. That is Shamar Moore as Derek Morgan. Born in 1970, Shamar was 35 at the premiere and is now 56. The baby girl catchphrase between Morgan and Garcia became one of the most quoted moments in procedural television history. He left in 2016 to headline SWAT, which turned into a genuine hit with serious staying power. In 2023, he became a father for the first time with girlfriend Jessie Rae Ditson. He has never married, has kept things on his own terms, and has somehow stayed one of the most bankable names on television across 20 years. Some actors leave a show and disappear. Shamar left and got bigger. If you have been watching this far, drop a comment below and tell us your favorite Morgan moment. We read every single one. And if you know someone who grew up watching Criminal Minds, share this video with them right now. Number 4, we have someone the network actually fired, only to realize almost immediately that they had made a catastrophic mistake. That is AJ Cook as Jennifer JJ Giroux. She was 27 inches 2005 and turned 48 inches 2026. JJ started as the team's media liaison and grew into one of the most emotionally complex characters on the show. In 2010, budget cuts led to her firing. The fan backlash was so loud and so fast that the network reversed course and brought her back. She married Nathan Anderson back in 2001, and they have 2 sons. AJ quietly became one of the longest-serving cast members in the show's history. The network tried to erase her once. The fans would not let them. Number 5, we have a man who was already a legend before he ever walked into the BAU, and who somehow turned a late career role into the defining chapter of a 50-year story. That is Joe Mantegna as David Rossi. Born in 1947, Joe was 60 when he joined in 2007 and has now reached 79. Rossi brought warmth and weight to every scene, the kind of gravitas you cannot fake or teach. Before Criminal Minds, he had The Godfather Part 3 and decades of stage work behind him. He has been married to Arlene Velt since 1975, which means that by 2026, they have been together for 51 years. That number deserves a moment. 51 years. He continues appearing in the revival seasons, still commanding every room he walks into. When a man at 79 is still the most interesting person on screen, you stop calling it a career and start calling it a legacy. Number 6, we have someone who became so beloved that the show simply could not imagine itself without her, even across 2 decades and multiple cast changes. That is Kirsten Vangsness as Penelope Garcia. She was 33 when the show started and turned 54 inches 2026. Garcia's Technicolor wardrobe, her warmth, and her chemistry with Shamar Moore created something television rarely manages, a platonic love story that felt more real than most romantic ones. Kirsten is openly bisexual and was previously engaged to actress Melanie Goldstein before they split. She also wrote episodes for the series, proving she understood the show's DNA as well as anyone behind the camera. She is the rare cast member who became the heart of a show and then helped write that heart on the page. We drop new stories like this every 2 days, so if you want to keep up, hit subscribe right now and you will never miss one. Number 7, we have someone who walked off a hit show, claiming the darkness was too much to carry, then built a second career that proved he was right about everything. That is Mandy Patinkin as Jason Gideon. Born in 1952, Mandy was 53 during the show's first 2 seasons and is now 74. Gideon was the philosophical center of the early BAU, and when Mandy quit abruptly in 2007, the show felt the absence for seasons. He later said the content was genuinely affecting his mental health. He went on to star in Homeland, earning Emmy nominations and reminding everyone what a singular talent looks like when it has room to breathe. He has been married to Catherine Grody since 1980, and during the pandemic, their videos together went viral, introducing him to an entire generation who had never seen a single episode of either show. It turns out leaving Criminal Minds may have saved him, and the internet adored him for what came next. Number 8, we have someone who arrived at the BAU already carrying 3 careers and somehow added a 4th without dropping any of them. That is Aisha Tyler as Dr. Tara Lewis. She was 45 when she joined in 2015 and turned 56 inches 2025. Before Criminal Minds, Aisha was a stand-up comedian, a co-host on The Talk, and the voice of Lana Kane on Archer. She was married to Jeff Tietjens from 1992 to 2017. She brought intelligence and a dry wit to Tara Lewis that made the character feel immediately lived in. You probably already knew her from somewhere before the BAU, which made watching her walk into that world feel like running into a friend. Number 9, we have someone handed an impossible job, replacing one of the most beloved characters in the show's history, and who handled it by refusing to even try to replace him. That is Adam Rodriguez as Luke Alves. Born in 1975, Adam was 41 when he joined in 2016 and turned 51 inches 2026. He was already known from CSI Miami before the BAU came calling. He married Grace Gale in 2016, and they have 3 children. Fans came around to Alves specifically because Adam never pretended Morgan was someone he could replicate. He built something different, something grounded in his character's fugitive task force background, and the show was better for it. The smartest thing he ever did was stop trying to be Shamar Moore. Number 10, we have someone who joined one of television's longest-running shows and then stepped away after just 2 seasons, leaving fans asking for years why it ended so soon. That is Janine Garofalo as Alex Blake. At 49 when joining in 2012, Jean reached 63 inches 2026. Blake's linguistics background gave the team a genuinely different lens, and the character had room to grow. She left citing personal reasons. Before Criminal Minds, she was already famous from Basic Instinct and Big Love. She married Leland Orser in 2000 and they have 1 son. She has stepped back from acting considerably in recent years, and fans still debate whether Blake's exit was handled with the care the character deserved. Some doors close quietly, and you only realize later how much you wanted them to stay open. Number 11, we have someone who built 2 entirely separate entertainment careers on 2 different continents, in 2 different languages, and somehow made both work at the same time. That is Daniel Henney as Matt Simmons. Born in 1979, Daniel was 36 when he joined in 2015 and turned 47 inches, 2026. The Korean-American actor had already become a genuine star in South Korea before Criminal Minds. He keeps his personal life so private that almost nothing is publicly known about his relationships. He left the show in 2020 and continues working across both Hollywood and Korean productions, a crossover almost no one else has managed to sustain. In an industry where most people struggle to hold one career together, he is quietly running 2. Number 12, we have someone who left early, stayed low profile, and built a life that looked nothing like what fans expected. That is Lola Glaudini as Elle Greenaway. She was 34 inches 2005 and reached 55 inches 2025. Elle's exit after just 2 seasons remains one of the show's most debated storylines. Lola left because the filming schedule and the Los Angeles relocation were not compatible with the life she wanted. She appeared in The Sopranos and other television work, married jewelry designer Stuart Zagnit in 2005, and has 2 children. She kept her head down and her choices clean. Fans still argue about whether Elle deserved a better ending, which is its own kind of tribute. Think about this for a second. When Elle Greenaway walked into the BAU for the first time, most of the people watching did not yet own a smartphone. That is how long ago this show began. Number 13. We have someone who played one of the most chilling villains in the revival seasons after years of being best known as a beloved small-town hero. That is Zach Gilford as Elias Voigt. Born in 1982, Zach was 40 when appearing in the recent revival and is now 44. Most fans first knew him as Matt Saracen in Friday Night Lights, gentle and earnest. Then he walked into Criminal Minds as a calculating serial killer and flipped every association fans had of him in the first scene. He married Kiele Sanchez in 2012, and they have children together. Playing a monster after playing a hero is harder than it sounds, and he made it look terrifyingly easy. Number 14. We have someone who joined one of television's biggest procedural dramas, stayed for exactly 1 season, and then went on to headline another show that audiences loved. That is Jennifer Love Hewitt as Kate Callahan. At 35 when joining in 2014, Jennifer turned 47 inches 2026. She arrived with a fan base already built from Party of Five, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Ghost Whisperer. She left Criminal Minds due to pregnancy and went on to star in 911 as Maddie Buckley, a role fans embraced immediately. She married Brian Hallisey in 2013, and they have 3 children. Her Criminal Minds chapter was brief, but what came after proved she did not need a long stay to stay relevant. Hit subscribe if you are still here, because the next few entries have some genuinely surprising stories left. Number 15. We have someone who played the supporting husband so well that fans actually rooted for a character whose main job was to wait at home while his wife ran into danger. That is Josh Stewart, as William LaMontagne Jr. Born in 1977, Josh was 30 during his first appearance in 2007 and is now 49. Will gave JJ a life outside the BAU, and Josh gave Will enough texture to make that life feel real. Beyond Criminal Minds, he appeared in The Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar, building a film career alongside steady television work. He married Alexa Davalos in 2019, and they keep things private. The show asked a lot of him, and he delivered quietly every single time. Number 16. We have the person who became the show's true breakout, not because of the cases he solved, but because of the way he made millions of viewers feel seen. That is Matthew Gray Gubler as Dr. Spencer Reed. Born in 1980, Matthew was 25 when Criminal Minds premiered and turned 46 inches 2026. Reed's combination of staggering intellect and visible vulnerability hit something real for a lot of people who had always felt like the strange one in the room. Beyond acting, Matthew has become a painter, a director, and an author. He has never married and guards his romantic life with an almost aggressive privacy. Think about that. He has spent his entire adult life in the public eye, and almost nothing personal has leaked. That kind of quiet is its own form of power. Number 17. We have someone who took a character designed to be an obstacle for the main team and made her genuinely heartbreaking by the time it was over. That is Jane Atkinson as Erin Strauss. She was 48 inches 2007 and reached 67 inches 2025. Strauss started as an antagonist and ended as someone the audience actually mourned. The alcoholism storyline gave Jane material that most procedural actors never get, and she used every second of it. She has been married to actor Michael Gill since 1998 and continues working in theater and television. She turned bureaucracy into tragedy, and that is not easy to do. Number 18. We have someone whose life after Criminal Minds became a painful public story of addiction, legal trouble, and a struggle that played out in full view of the fans who had once cheered him on. That is Nicholas Brendan as Kevin Lynch. Born in 1971, Nicholas was 36 when he joined in 2007 as Garcia's boyfriend and is now 55. Fans had already loved him as Xander Harris in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and seeing him show up alongside Kirsten Vangsness felt like a gift. But between 2010 and 2017, multiple arrests for domestic violence, vandalism, and drug possession made headlines. He fought publicly with depression and alcoholism and has been married multiple times. He continues seeking treatment and occasionally appears at fan conventions. The distance between who Kevin Lynch was on screen and what Nicholas Brendon was living through off it is one of the most sobering gaps in this entire cast list. Number 19. We have someone who brought moral ambiguity to the revival seasons in a way that kept viewers genuinely unsure whose side he was on. That is RJ Hatake as Tyler Green. His exact birth year is not publicly listed, but he appeared in 27 episodes between 2022 and 2025. Tyler walked a line between ally and suspect across the revival run, and RJ brought enough layered intensity to make every scene feel unresolved in the best way. He has built a steady career across Canadian and American television and keeps his personal life completely private. Sometimes the most interesting people in a cast are the ones who say the least off camera. Number 20. We have someone who stepped into a show with 20 years of history behind it and brought energy that honored that legacy without being crushed by it. That is Nicole Pacent as Rebecca Wilson. Her age has not been made public, but she has appeared in 21 episodes since 2022. Rebecca represents what Criminal Minds still believes it can do: introduce someone new and make the audience care. Nicole comes from theater, keeps her personal life entirely private, and has brought fresh momentum to a series that easily could have coasted on nostalgia. The show spent 2 decades building something. She is part of what comes next. And here is the thing that quietly gets you once this video ends. When Thomas Gibson first walked onto that set as Aaron Hotchner, Matthew Gray Gubler was literally 25 years old. That nervous young genius in the corner is now 46. The show did not just run for 20 years. It grew up alongside the people watching it, and so did they.